Hey guys, Dylan Tommy here. Hanging out in the green room again, and it's been a while since we cruised these tanks and I did any kind of update. So tonight we'll just cruise like we do, and I'll check out these systems. Right away I'd like to start with the Vivarium, because this little tiny Vivarium is doing very well compared to the Paludarium, which is actually going through some troublesome time right now. I'm putting it through a dry cycle just to air it out. There's lots of moisture in a system with a large water feature like that. And we'll get over to the Paludarium, but quickly we'll check out this smaller Viv. Still nothing living in here, but a lot of the vegetation's really growing out great. And one thing to mention is I've acclimated a couple of aquatic plants to their terrestrial form. That's a piece of wisteria right there. I have some baby tears, which came out of the large 55, that have turned into their terrestrial immersed form. And also some Ludwigia, which was a little harder to get it to come out of the mosh. But it's coming right up. It's formed its, like I said, terrestrial form, and is growing very well in this little Viv. So I did want to show this off. The system's looking pretty good, and I told you a while back that I'm almost ready to put a frog in here, a living inhabitant. I just wanted to be sure the system's stable before I complicate it with any more life. But let's just keep cruising. We'll duck down here. You guys saw this tank full of moss, and it's grown out very well. I've actually taken pieces of moss and used it in the Paludarium and used it throughout. So just a 10-gallon growing out all this Java moss. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys that in the past. And nothing in there either, other than the snails. And I'll quickly show this system. I don't think I've ever showed you guys this tank down here. I kind of just set it up just for the fun of it. It was just a fun tank. And another tank where there's nothing in here, just plants cycling, growing out the system. And what it is just a lot of spare plants that I've decided to hang on to and keep around. So quick look at that system. And I'll keep rolling here. Here's the 55. Always looking like it needs a trim. And I think I have pretty much given up on the crypts. They just haven't done so well, and I've made all the effort to try to keep the baby tears from outgrowing, and they don't do well under this light in this system at all. So if I lose all the Wenty, that'll be okay. Eventually, and I don't know if I told you guys this in the past, but I had big plans to turn this 55 into a simple guppy colony. I mean, I could put it close to a couple, 100 breeding guppies in this tank, and I think it would look like a pretty cool system with a lot of fancy tail guppies and vibrant colors. In the past, I had told you that I was waiting on the rams and always hopeful that the rams will do some type of breeding, but it's just not happening. The system as it isn't conducive for their breeding behavior. And I tried to, give them their holes and give them their room and create an environment here where they may do some breeding with this thick vegetation. But I've almost given up on all these fish in this tank, and I'm considering moving them out. I have a lot of guppies. The breeding projects with the guppies has been growing out fantastic. We'll swing down here real quick because I had added several fish to this tank. There's my alpha guppy, I guess. He was the main man. I've told you guys about him, and he's really grown out this colony. These females that are in here have really spawned, and there's a lot of younger generations in this 20 long now too, and they don't seem to want to stop. I have many guppies in the fish room nowadays, and they're fun. They're a cool fish to keep in a planted tank, and they're beautiful, and you never know what kind of color variations you're going to get. So I've been mixing up them. We'll pop up here and I'll show you how many guppies are up in the original guppy tank, because this tank has really exploded with life in the last month or so. Needs a bit of maintenance too. There's just a ton of plantage in there that just needs to be trimmed and removed. But we'll check out the life. Just 3 adult males in here, and the rest are females. Lots of younger generations. Yeah, this big breeding female too. She produces many fry. We'll keep cruising. Definitely show you guys the Crebensis tank. They're huge and they're officially for sale now. They are all ready to go. These guys are huge. The big albinos are no longer juveniles, they are adults. They are, you know, large adults. I wouldn't even call them medium. Recently I've seen one of the other albino males battling, and I think it might be this guy right here, doing a little battling with the alpha Crebensis in here for breeding rights, because they continued their spawning. This female right here, she has been creating many broods. I think she's had about 3 or 4 broods in this tank so far, and if we go slowly we might be able to see some of the younger generation here. But I told you in the past that Crebensis are very skittish. I keep them in this tank full of thick vegetation. I never do trims in this tank unless it's just too much to bear, because I told you that they like this dense foliage and they like the canopy, the overhang. It's a light blocking effect and it allows them to feel a little safe down here. They're hiding kind of fish. There's a little subadult right there, and that's a normal size, or a normal Crebensis rather than an albino. But I do have a batch of really young fry in here, and I just don't see them right now. They're likely back there where they do their spawning and breeding behaviors. There's the male and the female, and this is the pair. This is the pair right here. And they just don't want to give me a good look at them. But let's keep cruising. Their Crebensis are doing their thing, and like I said, the albinos, these adults, are definitely for sale. They're beautiful, and I wish one would come out to give me a real good look so I can see that body structure and pattern, because they're looking great. They're actually looking a little beefy. They're well fed in this tank. We'll duck down to another empty tank, loaded with baby tears, loaded with a Java moss skate, and loaded with red cherry shrimp, which is a cool little habitat. I've kept it like this in the past, and still not quite sure what I want to add to this system. Been going slow with all my systems. If you guys follow my channel, you know that things don't change very often, you know? Beyond this massive fish room, I have a normal life. So mixing things up and making big changes don't often happen. But I enjoy the keeping, and I enjoy the community of beautiful tropical fish that I get to observe. We'll quickly look at this spawn. I think this is news to my subscribers, because the last time I had showed you the Brichardi tank, or at least one of the last times, I told you that I had lost my dominant male. But I have the female, and she's still producing. Look at this large batch of young fry. She's getting it done in here with one of the juveniles, one of the subadults, one of her offspring. So the colony continues to grow, and I'm extremely excited about that. I'll try to check out some of the good guys. The larger subadults, they're pretty big nowadays. And the Brichardi are now for sale too. They're a decent sized fish, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful specimens here. The Princess of Burundi, the fairy cichlid. And last but not least, we'll check on the Paludarium. As I mentioned, the Paludarium has been going through some turmoil. I've been putting it through a dry season, and not running the drip system so often, and just allowing the entire system to clear of moisture. With this large water feature, the terrestrial parts of the tank really stay moist, and the way the structure is shaped itself doesn't make for the best air circulation. So you can hear I have the fans on now, and I'm just not keeping it as wet as it used to. And you can see the Java moss is kind of paying for it. Doesn't look very healthy. Looks kind of straggly there on the embankment. But all the Pelia is doing fantastic. So I'm kind of paying with the Java moss die-off. But all this other vine type Pelia depressor that's growing around the habitat is just looking fantastic. So I'm excited about that. It's worth the dry season to get some of these other terrestrial plants growing well. And what I like about the rock face itself and the fact that it was covered with the Java moss and now covered with a lot of this earth is that it creates a great platform, a great base for these climbing plants to root down and create a place where they can take up nutrients and water when the tank is going through a dry period like I have it right now. But right now it's very well lit and the fans are running full blast because recently I have been having a little bit of problems with fungus gnats, and that's to be expected when you're using, you know, store-bought potting soil. And there's really not much in here, but allowing the drip system to cover the whole face, any bit of potting soil that I had planted in these little cracks and holes have made their way around the terrarium itself because of the wetness and the drip. So we're drying it out and it's looking okay. I actually did add some smaller little stems down here in hopes of them using this black dark area that's covered with earth to root down and hopefully grow out and cover that section of the wall, because I don't necessarily dig, you know, the black. It doesn't look very green, it doesn't look very healthy at all. So that's why we get a dry season going. And I'll keep you guys updated. I would have hoped to add some more plants to this tank and down here to the water feature, but just battling with the system still, enjoying it for the most part, but going through some changes here. I thought I'd take a quick look and see if the newt was in there. That's his corner, you guys know that, and I just don't see him. He's likely down in the water feature, trying to stay fairly moist since the platforms are very dry right now, so he's probably on these rocks hidden in this dark area. But there's the update, guys. I'm sorry I haven't kept in touch over the last couple of weeks. It's been a while since I updated the green room and cruised in here. But I definitely appreciate you guys hanging, and I'll try to stay updated and let you know what's going on. Hopefully I'd like to make some moves. Like I said, we're going to put some guppies in this tank, and we're just going to fill it out with some beautiful color variations. And the Cobrensis will go, a lot of the Burchardi colony will go, and we'll continue having fun this winter. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Tank on.